Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I've already recorded this video and I had no audio for 25 minutes, so I was kind of speaking to myself for 25 minutes, but it's all good because I'm about to do it again. But this time, I'm gonna be speaking to you. I'm reading Psycho-Cybernetics. I'm just speaking aloud, reading aloud, so I can improve my speech and so I can improve my articulation, and so I can be a better speaker, so I can make better videos. So yeah, let's go. Also, can you even see my books? See them books behind me, like up here? I haven't read a single one like fully, and it's like at least 30 books up there, which is a little embarrassing. You know, I went through buying books and not reading them. That's something I do a lot. I've read Can't Hurt Me fully, but that's it. But anyway, I'm gonna read Psycho-Cybernetics, so yeah, let's go. Scars that bring pride instead of shame. Let me get comfortable real quick, bro. Still, another clue in search of the elusive self-image was the fact that not all scars or disfigurements bring shame and humiliation. When I was a young medical student in Germany, I saw many another student proudly wearing his saber scar, which, much as an American might wear the Medal of Honor, the duelists were the elite of college society, and a facial scar was the badge that proved you a member in good standing. That proved you a member in good standing. To these boys, the acquisition of a horrible scar on the cheek had the same psychological effect as the eradication of the scar from the cheek of my salesman patient. In old New Orleans, a cereal, bro, Creole. I think that's cereal. A surreal, no. Cereole. I'm just gonna say cereal. Cereole. I think it's cereole. Cereole. Creole. A cereole wore an eye patch in much the same way. I began to see that a knife itself had no magical powers. It could be used on one person to inflict a scar and on another to erase a scar, with the same psychological results. The mystery of imaginary ugliness. To a person handicapped by genuine cognitional defect or suffering from an actual facial disfigurement as a result of an accident, plastic surgery can indeed seemingly perform magic. From such cases, it would be easy to theorize that the cure-all for all neuroses, unhappiness, failure, fear, anxiety, and lack of self-confidence would be wholesale plastic surgery to remove all bodily defects. However, according to this theory, persons with normal or acceptable faces should be singularly free from all psychological handicaps. They should be cheerful, happy, self-confident, and free from anxiety and worry. We know only too well this is not true. Nor can such a theory explain the people who visit the office of a plastic surgeon and demand a facelift to cure a purely imaginary ugliness. There are 35-year-olds or 45-year-old women who are conceived that they look old, even though their appearance is perfectly normal, and in many cases unusually attractive. There are the young girls who are convinced that they are ugly merely because their mouth, nose, or bust measurement does not exactly match that of a currently reigning movie queen. There are men who believe that their ears are too big. I think my ears are alright, I think. But there are men who believe that their ears are too big or their nose is too long. No ethical plastic surgeon would even consider operating upon these people, but unfortunately, the quacks or so-called beauty doctors, whom no medical association will admit to membership, have no such qualms. Such imaginary ugliness is not all uncommon. A recent survey of college co-eds showed that 90% were dissatisfied in some way with their appearance. If the words normal or average mean anything at all, it is obvious that 90% of our population cannot be abnormal or different or defective in appearance. Yet similar surveys have shown that approximately the same percentage of our general population find some reason to be ashamed of their body image. These people react just as if they suffered an actual disfigurement. They feel the same shame. They develop the same fears and anxieties. Their capacity to really live fully is blocked and choked by the same sort of psychological roadblocks. Their scars through mental and emotional their scars Their scars, though mental and emotional rather than physical, are just as debilitating. Yes, debilitating. The self-image, the real secret. Discovery of the self-image explains all the apparent discrepancies we have been discussing. It is the common denominator, the determining factor in all our case histories, the failures as well as the successes. The secret to this, to really live, that is to find life reasonably satisfying, you must have an adequate and realistic self-image that you can live with. You must find yourself acceptable to you. You must have a wholesome self-esteem. You must have a self that you can trust and believe in. You must have a self that you are not ashamed to be, and one that you can feel free to express creatively rather than to hide or cover up. You must have a self that corresponds to reality so that you can function effectively in a real world. You must know yourself, both your strengths and your weaknesses, and be honest with yourself concerning both. Your self-image must be a reasonable approximation of you, being neither more than you are, nor less than you are. When this self-image is intact and secure, you feel good. When it is threatened, you feel anxious and insecure. When it is adequate and one that you can be wholesomely proud of, you feel self-confident. You feel free to be yourself and to express yourself. You function at your optimum. When it is an object of shame, you attempt to hide it rather than express it. Creative expression is blocked. You become hostile and hard to get along with. If a scar on the face enhances the self-image, as in the case of the German duelist, self-esteem and self-confidence are increased. If a scar on the face detracts from the self-image, as in the case of the salesman, loss of self-esteem and self-confidence results. When a facial disfigurement is corrected by plastic surgery, dramatic psychologic changes result only if there is a corresponding correction of the mutilated self-image. Sometimes the image of a disfigured self persists even after successful surgery, much the same as the phantom limb may continue to feel pain years after the physical arm or leg has been amputated. I begin a new career. These observations led me into a new career. Some 15 years ago, I became convinced that people who consult a plastic surgeon need more than surgery, and that some of them do not need surgery at all. If I were to treat these people as patients, as a whole person rather than merely a nose, ear, mouth, arm, or leg, I needed to be in a position to give them something more. I needed to be able to show them how to obtain a spiritual facelift, how to remove emotional scars, how to change their attitudes and thoughts as well as their physical appearance. This study has been most rewarding. Today I am more convinced than ever that what each of us really wants deep down is more life. Happiness, success, peace of mind, or whatever your own conception of supreme good may be, is experienced in its essence as more life. When we experience expansive emotions of happiness, self-confidence, and success, we enjoy more life. And to the degree that we inhibit our abilities, frustrate our God-given talents, and allow ourselves to suffer anxiety, fear, self-condemnation, condemnation, and self-hate, we literally choke off the life force available to us and turn our back upon the gift which our Creator has made. To the degree that we deny the gift of life, we embrace death. Where am I? 11 minutes. The program for better living. In my opinion, psychology during the past 30 years has become far too pessimistic regarding man and his potentiality for both change and greatness. Since psychologists and psychiatrists deal with so-called abnormal people, the literature is almost exclusively taken up with man's various abnormalities, his tendencies towards self-destruction. Many people, I am afraid, have read so much of this type of thing that they have come to regard such things as hatred, the destructive instinct, guilt, self-condemnation, and all the other negatives as normal behavior. The average person feels awfully weak and impotent when he thinks of the prospect of pitting his puny, for the prospect of pitting his puny will against these negative forces in human nature in order to gain health and happiness. If this were true, a picture of human nature and human conditions, self-improvement would indeed be a rather futile thing. Oh. I think I've actually almost finished this chapter. Yeah, 2 pages or 3 pages. However, I believe the experiences of many patients have confirmed the fact that you do not have to do the job alone. There is within each one of us a life instinct which is forever working towards health, happiness, and all that makes for more life for the individual. This life instinct works for you through what I call creative mechanism, or when used correctly, the success mechanism, built into each human being. Bro, my eyes are going weird, bro. New scientific insights into the subconscious mind. The new science of cybernetics has furnished us with convincing proof that the so-called subconscious mind is not a mind at all, but a mechanism, a goal-striving servo mechanism, consisting of the brain and nervous system, which is used by and directed by the mind. The latest and most usable concept is that man does not have 2 minds, but a mind, or consciousness, which operates an automatic goal-striving machine. This automatic goal-striving machine functions very similarly. Functions very similarly. Why I can normally say that word, similarly. Functions very similarly. Yeah, very similarly to the way that electronic servo mechanisms function. As far as basic principles are concerned, but it is much more marvelous, much more complex than any electronic brain or guided missile ever conceived by man. The creative mechanism within you is impersonal. It will work automatically and impersonally to achieve goals of success and happiness, or unhappiness and failure, depending upon the goals which you yourself set for it. Present it with success goals and it functions a success mechanism. Present it with negative goals and it operates just as impersonally and just as faithfully as a failure mechanism. Like any other servo mechanism, it must have a clear-cut goal, objective, or problem to work upon. The goals that our own creative mechanism seeks to achieve are mental images or mental pictures, which we create by the use of imagination. The goal image is our self-image. No, the key goal image is our self-image. Our self-image prescribes the limits of the accomplishment of any particular goals. It prescribes the area of the impossible. Like any other servo mechanism, our creative mechanism works upon information and data which we feed into it. Our thoughts, beliefs, interpretations. Through our attitudes and interpretations of situations, we describe the problem to be worked upon. If we feed information and data into our creative mechanism to the effect that we ourselves are unworthy, inferior, undeserving, incapable, and negative self-image, this data is processed and acted upon as any other data in giving us the answer in the form of an objective experience. Like any other servo mechanism, our creative mechanism makes use of stored information of memory in solving current problems and responding to current situations. Your program for getting more living out of life consists in, first of all, learning something about this creative mechanism or automatic guidance system within you and how to use it as a success mechanism rather than as a failure mechanism. The method itself consists in learning, practicing, and experiencing new habits of thinking, imagining, remembering, and acting in order to 1. Develop an adequate and realistic self-image, and 2. Use your creative mechanism to bring success and happiness in achieving particular goals. If you can remember, worry, or tie your shoe, you can succeed. As you will see later, the method to be used consists of consists of creative mental picturing, creatively experiencing through your imagination, and the formation of new automatic reaction patterns by acting out and acting as if. I often tell my patients, if you can remember, worry, or tie your shoe, you will have no trouble applying this method. The things you are called upon to do are simple, but you must practice and experience. Visualizing, creative, mental picturing is no more difficult than what you do when you remember some scene out of the past or worry about the future. Acting out new action patterns is no more difficult than deciding, than following through on tying your shoes in a new and different manner each morning instead of continuing to tie them in your old habitual way without thought or decision. Yeah, bro. That's chapter 1. That was 18 minutes long. This is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltby. I probably should have covered that at the start of the video, but yeah. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, this far into the video, you're weird, bro. No, I'm joking, but I don't think anyone's watching this point. But if you are, thank you, bro. I appreciate you, whoever it may be. I might keep on reading chapter 2, or I might just read it tomorrow. It's currently 7:51. I'm gonna go sleep soon, get ready for tomorrow's next video and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically everything. I might add some music, I might not. I don't have any idea what I'm gonna do with this video, but I'm gonna post it because why not? But yeah, I'll see you soon, bro. Take care, and yeah, on my soul, we're gonna make it, bro. On my soul. I don't know why I say that so much, but yeah, see you later, bro.